Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final rounds in the ETV Live Team Series here on ETV Live, presented by the HD Radio Network. The HDRadioNetwork.com 150 here tonight at Homestead, Miami Speedway, the finale for the first season here of the ETV Live Team Series, and it is going to be a good one. Joining me up in the booth here tonight, I am Kyle Young. Joining me in the booth is Evan Posoko in replacing for Kyle Peddle. Evan, final race of the season. It's going to be good.
That's right. No Kyle and Kyle showed tonight, but you guys are stuck with me, and that's right. It's the ETV Live Team Series Season Championship race here at Homestead, Miami Speedway, and it's the best of the best here, and they're going to battle it out for the championship.
Indeed they are, Evan, and speaking of the championship, we are going to head on over and look at the championship point standings for tonight's event to see who's got a shot at the title. Sitting up on top of the leaderboard is the Asphalt Assault team. They have a 15-point lead over the Super Speedway Cup team. These are going to be the two teams probably battling it out for the championship. Third place, 49 points back, is the Full Throttle team. Halls on Post is fourth, 75 points back. Rounding out the top five is the Crossed Out Motorsports team, 179 back. ETV Live is sitting 6th, 350 back, and Hollywood Motorsports 7th, 591 back. Taking a look back at last week's results, Evan, I believe you have those pulled up for us.
And that's right, it was Phoenix, 115 laps last week, and it was John Abbott who took the win. And if we look at the team points from that race, it was Asphalt Assault who got the most. They got 137 points, but right behind them was the Full Throttle Cup team, 133 points they racked up for that race. And it was the Super Speedway Cup team, they got 105 points, followed by Halls on Post with 82. Crossed Up Motorsports got 74 points, and ETV Live took home 6th place that race with 69 points.
Definitely set up last week for a very entertaining and very exciting finale here at Homestead Miami Speedway. 100 laps here at the 1.5 mile speedway. Not a ton of time again, but 100 laps still a bit of a lengthy race, and I know for these drivers who are going to be competing for this championship, using their heads, conservation, and making it to the finish are probably going to be the three biggest factors for those teams tonight.
And that is true. It's a 100-lap race here at Homestead. And normally we race at the tri-oval, so this is just your straight-up oval track, and it's a nice, big, wide racetrack. And like you said, those drivers that are battling for the points championship, it's going to seem a lot longer to those than, say, the teams in third place, because it's only a 15-point differential, so everyone on your team has to have a good night. So you can't just be worrying about yourself. You've got to be keeping an eye out for your teammates, helping them out whenever you can.
Indeed they do, and something that should be a good factor to look at throughout the night is that this track can be run on either the top or the bottom line. Depending on how you can set your car up and how it works, the bottom or the top is strong at this racetrack. I think you're going to see most of the drivers up top, but if they do it correctly, they can use the bottom to make passes.
Yeah, the multiple grooves will definitely make for some interesting restarts, and it'll make the restarts good too, as I just said. But when they come in, like you said, the tie side, maybe where the drivers want to go once they get going, so they'll be able to hang out when they start, so it's not like the inside line is just going to pull away on the restarts. Both sides have an even chance here, so it's anyone's race here on the restart, so that may be key.
Indeed it will be, and now we're going to head it down trackside to the Cactus Cuties for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
A great job by the Cactus Cuties bringing us the national anthem here tonight for the season finale. And now we're going to head it back down trackside for the command to start engines.
Gentlemen!
On the pole for tonight's season's finale and the number 13 machine supporting the ETV Live colors, that is Dakota Ehrman and his outside championship contender, Dwayne Vincent in the number 6 for Asphalt Assault.
Row number 2 starting in the 3rd position in the number 3 car, Billy Weeks, and on his outside starting 4th, the number 10 of John Abbott.
Larry Mulligan going to round out the top 5 on the inside of row number 3 in his number 1 machine, and CJ Lavera going to be supporting the number 11 car for the full final team in 6th.
Row number 4 is the number 31 of Glenn Hedrick on the bottom, and the 29 of Brendan Chaburko starting on the high side.
Row number 5 is going to look like this with Rod Flagg's number 32 machine on the inside, and to his outside teammate for the Super Speedway Cup team, second in points heading into tonight's event, Angel Berger in the number 30.
Row number 6 will be the number 33 of David Lanza, and to his right the number 9 of Doug Roth.
Final row for the evening, row number 7. The inside is going to be Sean Brown in the 25. He rolls off 13th, and matching his car number on the outside of row number 7 is going to be Joshua Harbison in the number 14. He will roll off in the 14th spot. So we only got 14 drivers here tonight. I believe this is the smallest field for the season. So kind of surprising to see that for the finale. You think with the season ending and these guys, they know they're going to have some time off before their next race, I think you get some good amount of people to show out and race, but unfortunately not the case here. But smaller field could see some longer green flag runs though.
You're right, it will definitely change the outcome of this race with less cars, less incidents, longer green flag runs. And shout out there to the virtual Thunderbirds for the great flyover. But it's time for a different Thunder here in Homestead, Miami, because we are pacing down the back straightaway, looking for the green as we're going to combine next time to start this race. 14 drivers, and it's the best of the best here as they're looking to seal out that championship. So smaller field, but maybe just select drivers that are going for it.
A big story that I just noticed here, Super Speedway Cup team has the advantage on Asphalt Assault already. They have all 4 of their drivers. Asphalt Assault is missing Bobby Terrell and Guy Snyder the 4th. They only have David Lanza and Dwayne Vincent, so they have got to have a stellar night to bring home this championship. The Ford Mustang iRacing pace car is going to drop down to the safety of pit road and leave the field into the hands of Dakota Ehrman. The green flag is out. He gets off to a great start, and we are underway in this season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway.
And definitely the start that number 13 of Dakota Ehrman wanted. He's going to be able to move up to the middle of the racetrack, not running on that white line as you mentioned earlier. Great start for him, but the number 6 of Dwayne Vincent, maybe a little bit of a run as they come down the back straightaway. Other than that, everyone's pretty much single-filed out back until about 7th place as we drive it into turn number 3.
Dakota Ehrman is definitely going to be a guy that you want to look out for here tonight. He has shown his strength so far this season on the 1.5-mile tracks, dominating Texas just a few weeks ago and was strong at Chicagoland. So Dakota Ehrman is definitely one to watch for here tonight, as well as Dwayne Vincent. We've seen him be strong all throughout the season, and this is when he really needs to bring out that strength, as now he's looking to the inside of Dakota Ehrman for the lead in turn number 3. Can he get it done? Going to shove it in there. Can't quite get the advantage on the bottom side. Now it looks like he might be able to clear. Going to wash up off of turn number 4. Dwayne Vincent into the lead and is going to lead a lap, and that is definitely going to help his team's chances at winning tonight's championship.
And right as they get back into turn number 1, it's the 13 Dakota Ehrman looking down back on the low side. Looked like he tried to stay up high there in 3 and 4, give Dwayne Vincent room and try to get the run down the front straightaway just like he did. And now they're going to switch, and now it's Dwayne Vincent to the inside of the 13 as they enter turn number 3.
The battle for the lead here has been able to allow Billy Weeks in the 3 machine to kind of close up on these guys, and he's going to stick his nose in there and have a little fun with this battle. Dakota Ehrman a little bit loose off at turn number 4, not going to hurt him too much as he's able to close back up to the rear bumper of Dwayne Vincent. And now Larry Mulligan hauls on post driver teammate with Billy Weeks. He is also able to close up onto this battle. So these 2 leaders starting to bring in some company, and John Abbott not that far behind.
That's right, Billy Weeks was just sitting there in the 3rd position, and he likes it when these guys are battling it out because that helps him. They have to modify their line. They got to stay up high, they got to stay low. He can just run his line, and as you see, he's caught them, and same with the number 1 of Larry Mulligan. So it's almost a 4-car single file breakaway here at the front. Then we have John Abbott, the divider between them and the back pack. But a great battle so far up front.
Indeed, it has been, and as we look at this front 4-pack running up front here, Dwayne Vincent has a lot to lose here tonight, and those 3 drivers behind him don't. The ETV Live team and the Halls on Post teams are pretty much out of the championship hunt, but they still want to be able to pull off a victory here in the final race of the season and end it with a bang. What kind of a mindset goes through these guys, Evan? I mean, do they try to overly fight it, or do they know that they have to contend for the win, but be smart about it, knowing what Dwayne Vincent is trying to fight for?
Well, you definitely have to be smart, and Dwayne Vincent out front right now. It looks like they're just going to cruise for a bit. But as you mentioned, the other drivers, they're not going for the points, so they're mainly going for a win. They're thinking, if we can't get the points, we might as well finish off the season on a strong note, get that victory, go to victory lane here, and get some momentum going into next season possibly. Now, Dwayne Vincent, on the other hand, he's taking a look at his relative. He's looking at all the other drivers. He's trying to say, where are my teammates? Doing a little bit of calculating, talking with his crew chief, seeing points, and I think if it comes down to the end and it's a hard battle, Dwayne Vincent would most likely give up the victory, take second place, if that means securing a championship. So more strategy by him.
Absolutely. I mean, the big picture for these guys is the championship. The race win, it means nothing if they can't bring home the championship. And right now, even though the numbers are against them, the Asphalt Assault guys are doing a great job. Both Asphalt Assault drivers are ahead of all 4 Super Speedway Cup drivers. Dwayne Vincent in the lead with David Lanza running in the 6th position right now. So it might be an upside here. The 2 drivers for the team, they might be able to hang on and pull this one off, even though the numbers are against them.
And it's definitely a different atmosphere, not just because it's the championship, but because of the small number of cars we have. We have 14 drivers here, all within 5 seconds of each other as we come to lap number 9 as they cross the start-finish line. So we may even see an entire race without a caution. Now, we're not saying that for sure because they're still all bunched up, so anything can happen here. But maybe in comparison to dropping back a bit, say with a 20-car field, staying to the back, hanging out, and then when the caution comes, if you have more people, then you guys work as a team to get up. This is a completely different race atmosphere, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers in the back attack this if they are planning to move to the front anytime soon.
Indeed it is, Evan, and this is a big night, and they know what's at risk, they know what's on the line, and they're seeing what's going on right now, and they're taking their mental notes. We're 10 laps in right now. We're all caution-free, and it could go caution-free, so maybe that running in the back strategy might not be a good idea. Remember last week, the Super Speedway Cup guys, they had a terrible night at Phoenix. I believe at least 2, possibly 3 of their drivers finished in the bottom 3 positions, and that absolutely killed them heading into tonight's race. They're a little bit down after that, but they got to bring up their momentum, and they have to be positive and strong heading into this race.
That's right. It's almost a mental game at these racetracks, and you say 100 laps, it seems like a lot. It is a long race. You can do longer, obviously, but this is still a long race, and we're already lap 11, and by the time you're in the driver's seat, you're like, I just want to coast like this. But you have to remember, as you see the number 3 car right here, Billy Weeks going inside Dakota, you can't just sleep. And the 3 and the 1 maybe look like they're working together to pass that 13 as they come by on the low side here as they work at turn number 4. 3 is going to complete the pass, and the 1's going to drop back in line.
A bit of a comforting feeling in the stomach of Dwayne Vincent right now, seeing those guys battle behind them. They were pretty close to the rear bumper of Vincent, and now that they're racing, will give him a little bit of space to work with to calm his nerves a little bit. But that number 3 machine at Billy Weeks, he looks strong. He's starting to pick his way through the field, and I highly doubt he's going to stop at second place. I'm sure he's going to try and take that lead away from Dwayne Vincent.
That is true, and he has his teammate just not too far behind him, so they're working together. And then you have Dwayne Vincent, the lone driver from his team, and Dakota Ehrman, the lone driver from his team. So not as much as this track as, say, a super speedway, a plate track where you have to do a lot of drafting, but teammates can help each other out. If you need someone to cut you a break, they're there. You can't trust the other guys on that. You can't assume that someone's going to give you the break. So it's good to have the trust in someone. That's why teammates are so important, especially in this team series, because the points are all run by teams.
Absolutely, Evan, you hit the nail right on the head with that one. And taking a look back just a little bit further, CJ Levere and David Lanza, they are having a very strong battle here for the 5th place position. CJ was actually just took it back from David Lanza, who was able to take it the previous lap. Lanza trying to pop his asphalt assault car up into the top 5, just to try to extend a little bit on the points lead that they are sitting on currently right now. Just these two kind of running around each other for right now. John Abbott is about half a second, give or take, behind this battle. So they got some room to work with. I'm sure CJ knows what is at stake for David here tonight. Still a long way to go. It's a wide racetrack, and they're playing it safe right now.
And that high side, like you mentioned earlier, has paid off for the number 3 of Billy Weeks. He goes around the 6 of Dwayne Vincent to take the lead as they worked off turn number 2. So it's going to be Billy Weeks followed by Dwayne Vincent, Dakota Ehrman, and Larry Mulliken. And then CJ Levere back in 5th will round up your top 5 as we work lap 16 now out of 100.
And to kind of comment on where these guys have been racing, the majority of these guys have been kind of racing in the middle of the racetrack, where I've honestly been a little bit surprised. You can see in the turns, you can kind of see where the rubber buildup is in the groove. I kind of figured they'd be running up above that, but the majority of these guys are running in the middle of the turn. We saw in 1 and 2, Billy Weeks actually went up to the way high side, where I was kind of thinking the majority of the field was going to be running. But, you know, maybe these guys have kind of set up to kind of go a little bit lower in the turn than I would have expected.
Well, they're definitely not down on that white line, which you see at some of the 1.5-mile tracks, and as you mentioned, that rubber buildup, it's right where they're running, but on that high side, up out of the groove, where it's not like you're going to lose traction, but the run off the corners is, I think, where you'll see that the most. And I do remember that when Dakota Ehrman got passed early in the race, he went way up there on Dwayne Vincent, and he got a huge run down the front straightaway, managed to make the pass back in turn 1. He lost it eventually on the backstretch. So you do get a big run. So I'm thinking that you'll mostly see drivers going up there when you're too wide and you think the person on the low side, it's a shorter way around, so they might have a little bit of advantage, but you can't forget that run off the corner.
Absolutely, Evan. We are currently running on lap 18 here, still caution-free throughout the event. We're going to take a quick moment here to step aside and give some shout-outs to our sponsors. Don't go anywhere here on Championship Night for the ETV Live Team Series. We'll be right back.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products, reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com, and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Homestead Miami Speedway for the season finale of the ETV Live Team Series presented by the HD Radio Network. The HD Radio Network 150 here tonight to wrap up the season. Since we have come back from commercial break, we haven't had much of a change through the running lineup, but right now we have a battle for the third place position as Dakota Ehrman surrenders the third place spot to Hulls on Post driver Larry Mulligan in turn number 3. Ehrman started up on the pole, starting to slip back a little bit. Maybe this long green flag run not in his favor.
And that number 1 of Larry Mulligan, he has a fast car. I was watching as we were on commercial break, and he went to look on the inside of that 13, and in that high side, like you mentioned, Dakota kept on the high side. He got the big run down the backstretch, managed to hold on to position, but that number 1 kept knocking on his door. So it looked like he decided to just let him go. It's not worth fighting over on lap 24 as we're reaching a quarter of the way through this race, and it's still Billy Weeks out front in that number 3.
Yeah, you mentioned we're almost a quarter of the way through the race, and I had said at the top of the broadcast, it's 100 laps, and it really isn't that long of a race, especially once we're staying green flag here. We're 13 minutes into this thing, and we're already a quarter of the way through the race. So when you're green flag racing, laps tick away, and you know, there really isn't a ton of time to take a breather and to kind of relax. You know, you got to figure out what your car is doing, and you got to try to run as close to the front as you can, because a night like this, you might not have many opportunities to work on that thing down in the pits.
Very minimal, and if you do, it's under green flag, so you want to get back out there if it's going to be, say, an old green race or very long green flag runs. You don't want to stay in there and make lots of adjustments, and as you mentioned, you don't have much time to gain a position. We've been pretty much the same running order for the last couple laps, so everyone's settled in line. This isn't a short track where you give someone the bump into the one and knock them out of the way. It's not a restricted plate track where you can blow by them. This is really about consistency, and if the driver in front of you is hitting his marks, then there's not much you can do about it. But down here on the front stretch, the number 1 of Larry Mulligan is going to look to the inside of Dwayne Vincent as they enter turn number 1.
Mulligan going to be able to use the inside to clear in turn number 1. He moves into the second position, and it's a Hulls on Post 1-2 at the front of this thing. Oh, wow, a big wiggle from Dwayne Vincent off at turn number 2. He hangs on and is going to keep it clean and green. Excuse me, no harm, no foul. A bit of a scary moment there for Dwayne Vincent, huh?
Oh, he's lucky that this is a wide racetrack, and it's pretty wide. On the backstretch, it's a little narrow, not narrow compared to some of the tracks we go to. The turns are real wide, but he had lots of time. He didn't rush. Maybe he would have overcorrected almost if he just, say, turned the wheel all the way back to the right. Might have spun that out, wrecked his race car. So he took his time. He saved it. Definitely a little bit of a wiggle. I think he just took his time, so it made it look worse than it was. But just smart driving there, taking his time, getting it settled back down, and maintaining that third position.
Yeah, very fortunate for Dwayne Vincent to be able to hang on to his race car and continue to go. Speaking of that team, his teammate, however, is starting to slip back a little bit. David Lanza currently in a battle for the 7th place position with Sean Brown, and he is looking to drop back into 8th place. So both Asphalt Assault drivers starting to drop off just a little bit. They're still all ahead of all the Super Speedway Cup guys, so they're still doing okay for their championship. But you know, even though they want to win the championship, they still want to do good in the race.
And big changes up front. That number 1 car is on a charge. It is now Larry Mulligan who takes the lead on lap 30, or as we hit lap 30. And now the number 3 car of Billy Weeks is now stuck on that outside, battling Dwayne Vincent. You see they get real close down the back straightaway, and there's that run that we talked about. I don't know. No, he does not get clear. The 6 is still down there. Maybe he's going to force him down, and he completes the pass. So that high side definitely gave him a huge run there.
Indeed it did, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised to see these Hulls on Post guys running 1-2 right now. We've kind of seen them be more of a short track team, and they're showing some strength here at the 1.5 mile speedway. A good run so far for the Hulls on Post guys, and they're looking to continue that and finish up the season here with a win as Dakota Ehrman now makes his way by Dwayne Vincent. So Vincent now moves back into the 4th place. Was at one point the lead amongst this 4-car pack, and now he's at the tail of it.
And it's a 4-car breakaway. The 2 Halls on Poles cars, Dakota Ehrman and Dwayne Vincent, all within 0.6 seconds of each other. And then you drop back to 5th. CJ LeVere about 2.8 seconds off. But we have a lead breakaway, and then each other car back there is about separated by about half a second or a second or so. So the way this race has been looking, we haven't seen a lot of crazy driving, and obviously we still have a lot of time to do that. But if it's looking like we're going to stay green with the small field that we have, you have to be thinking what they're thinking on pit road. Because if we come in for green flag stops, say the leaders come in, put 4 fresh tires on and get fuel, do you put 2? Because that's where this race could end up being decided. And those 2 guys up front, Larry Mulliken and Billy Weeks, maybe they're discussing what they're going to do if they come in, they want to stay together.
Yeah, that's a really good point that you bring up there, Evan, about pit strategy, especially for implications for the championship. We're seeing the majority of the Super Speedway Cup drivers running towards the back of this field, and if they think about throwing a bit of strategy in there and try to put themselves up into a better chance of winning this championship, then I'm sure they're going to do it. Back in the 9th and 10th position, Brendan Chaburko actually just made the move around Doug Roth, so that's another position that team will get. But heading into this thing, the Super Speedway Cup guys have nothing to lose. They're on the outside looking in, and at this point, it's go for broke. If there's a chance, if there's something that you can do to possibly make it happen, then you're gonna do it. You gotta put your heart out there, and try to do what you can to win this championship. And right now, it's no holds barred for these guys. They want it.
That is true, and as you mentioned, back in the 9th position, it was Brandon Chaburko who made the pass on Doug Roth. And Doug Roth's car looking maybe a little bit tight. He slides up the racetrack there, maybe letting the 14 go. But I've been keeping an eye on them, and he gets real loose on the entrance. He just can't, the car just won't turn as good as the other guys. So not sure if he's letting them go or if he just can't control that car, but the tires are getting worn out. It has been 35 laps of over 150 mile an hour all the time racing. So maybe the tires are starting to get worn out on that number 9 machine as he loses another position, and now the 30 machine looking inside.
Yeah, that quite possibly could be the problem there, Evan. It's been a very long green flag run, and after a while these tires start to take a beating. And unfortunately, it's looking like it's taken the toll on the number 9 machine of Doug Roth, as he has dropped back so far from 9th to 11th, and has a mirror full of Andrew Berger looking to try to drop him back to the 12th position. And I'm sure Berger wants that spot bad, because that's another point or points for the championship, and they need everything that they can get right now. The Super Speedway Cup guys currently running in 9th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, compared to the 2 Asphalt Assault drivers running in 4th and 8th.
And they do have more drivers, so they will get more points. But you have to think bonus points for leading laps and all that stuff. So nothing's confirmed. If there's a wreck and all those guys at the back there get taken out, anything's possible. So they're all going to go for it. And I noticed the change for 5th position now, maybe CJ LeVere's car going away, because John Abbott, who was about a second back from him about 8 laps ago, has now taken the lead and is starting to open up a gap on him for 5th place.
Indeed, he has, Evan. So John Abbott is going to pop his full throttle entry into the top 5 and knock his teammate out of it. However, they aren't making any ground on that pack of 4 up in front. They've actually lost about a second and a half since the last time we'd updated the intervals. So those top 4 drivers definitely seem to be the ones to beat. They're keeping it clean, keeping it green, and it's looking like we could possibly see the caution flag stay in its holder for the entire race. As now that these guys have had some time to spread out, this is looking like it's going to go caution-free.
And that makes qualifying so important. And out of the 14 drivers, we had about 9 of them qualified. And when you're looking right now, no cautions. That may be the key, because after that restart, once everyone's been shuffled out, we haven't seen much changing. The only changing that we have seen is if someone's car has gone away. And back up front, Larry Mulliken, who has been on a tear in the last couple laps, he's opened up a little bit of a gap on his teammate Billy Weeks. And then Dakota Ehrman and Dwayne Vincent have been battling it out, pushing almost down the front straightaway just 2 laps ago. It's Dakota in the 3rd right now. So Race cars are starting to act funny. Maybe they're going away. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get to the green flag here as the number 6 of Dwayne Vincent passes the 13.
Vincent going to slide up off of turn number 2. A bit of a risky move there, but it worked out for him. He moves into the 3rd place spot as that battling has kind of cost them some time on the Halls on Post duo up front. They are about 7 to 8 tenths of a second off of those guys now. So the Halls on Post starting to gap themselves a little bit from Dwayne Vincent and Dakota Ehrman. Now that those two have kind of settled it out, it looks like Vincent's going to be the leader of the two. Maybe they can run those guys back down and try to get up to the top 2 spots once again.
And it seems to be, like you said, the 4-car breakaway. Larry Mulliken, Billy Weeks out front, then it's Dwayne Vincent, Dakota Ehrman, John Abbott in the 5th position, followed by CJ LeVere. And then back there, all the way back, we have Joshua Harbinson in 9th. He's 11 seconds off the pace. And way in the back, Rod Flagg and Glenn Hedrick, 18 seconds almost for each of them off the leaders. And as we're taking lap 43 for the leaders here, they might be thinking, I doubt they're going to go a lap down because we're nearly halfway. They are half a lap down, so those pit stops may help them depending on when you come in. So it'll be interesting to see. They're just hanging out. It doesn't look like their cars are acting the way they want, so maybe some changes for them. As Rod Flagg is a Super Speedway Cup driver, and he's in the back.
Yeah, these pit stops might be the saving grace for these Super Speedway Cup guys, and a caution flag is what they're praying for. Right now, they have 3 of their drivers running in the bottom 3 positions, and Brennan Chaburko, the leader of the team, for right now, sitting in the 10th place position. So this has not been the championship night that the Super Speedway Cup guys would have liked to have entered. And unfortunately, it looks like it's starting to head the same exact way that Phoenix was, with the Super Speedway Cup guys bringing up the rear of the field. But we still have half a race to go. If they can get lucky with a caution and make some major adjustments under that caution during the pit stop, then who knows? Maybe they can throw their name into the hat of names and try to mix it up a little bit and go for this thing.
And definitely not a good night for them. Out of the 5 back cars, 4 of them is their team. And with a 15-point differential in the points right now in the last race, they have to be thinking about that. And even though they have more drivers, the small number of cars here is not going to help them out either. If they were, say, up there in 10th and we had a 23-car field, it's not that bad. But they're at the back of the field, and Rod Flagg is continuing to drop 20 seconds now off the leaders. Larry Mulliken's still out front now. Billy Weeks has caught him a little bit more. So it'll be interesting how this points are going to shake out, as they do have more drivers. So we're taking lap 46 right now. We're going to come by to take lap 47. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all adds up if the race finishes like this. And like I said, if there's a caution, that'll be the game changer.
Absolutely, the caution is definitely going to throw a big curveball at these guys. But the big thing to look at right here is that the Super Speedway Cup drivers are behind all of the Asphalt Assault drivers. So even though they have more drivers, the team themselves will not be able to score more points than the Asphalt Assault guys. I believe the top 3 have an average points night. So right now, if it were to end, we would be seeing Brennan Chaburko, Andrew Berger, and Glenn Hedrick scoring points. That would be 13th, 9th, and 11th. David Lanza is 7th, Dwayne Vincent is 3rd. So the averages are in the favor of Asphalt Assault. I'm sure they are well aware of this now by halfway, and they're starting to kind of think about how this is going to play out, knowing that it's probably going to go caution-free.
Definitely, and now you're mentioning they're in the back there. They have to be thinking of that too. So the drivers up front there, they're in command of this championship right now. It's almost theirs to lose, so to speak, for the Asphalt Assault guys, even though they have one person shorter, because they're doing what they need to do. They're beating all of the Super Speedway Cup guys, and even that extra person, you're not going to gain 15 points, plus all the positions that you're missing. So if Super Speedway Cup here wants any chance, they're going to need something big here, because they're going to need that caution, and they're going to, at least all of them probably, need to get by the Asphalt Assault guys to get a chance at it. So it will definitely be interesting as we're about halfway.
Indeed it is, and now we're starting to see some pit stops starting to occur here. We saw CJ Olivero-Lapico come in, Brennan Chaburgo is in now, and David Lanza is in, as they are just about ready to complete their stops and make their way back on the track. So we're starting to see some green flag pit stops, and I'm getting a report that Dakota Ehrman took a little piece out of the wall in turn number 4, as we also have Billy Weeks down on Billy Weeks down on pit road.
But he does not come in with his teammate, the number 1 of Larry Mulliken, which is what I would have assumed as he comes down pit road. And we did get that report of the number 13 making pretty significant contact with the wall off turn 4. I'm looking at the race car right now. Doesn't look like there's any extraordinary cosmetic damage. Still running good. He's hanging out, so it doesn't look like the toe's knocked out of it. But if it is, that's good for him that pit stops are coming up, because he can get that thing tuned up and ready to rock and roll as the green flag pit stops have started.
Yes, they have, and we are just now past the halfway mark in tonight's finale for the ETV Live Team Series. Championship night is 50% complete, and it's just been just under a half an hour. So these guys are ticking off laps very quickly, and it's going by fairly fast. As now we see the number 1 machine of Larry Mulliken. He's going to bring his hauls on post machine down onto the access road, and he is going to bring it down into the pits to the service of his crew. What do you think they're going to do here, Evan? You know, they're looking like they got the ball in their court right now, and I don't know if they can really make too many changes. They're looking pretty strong.
They are, and I don't think we're going to see any 2 tire stops either, because the cars are really starting to go away there. At the end is now the number 13 of Dakota Ehrman and the 6 of Dwayne Vincent are joining the party on pit road, so to speak. But now Larry Mulliken in for his hauls on post car. His teammate took 4 tires, and it looks like he's going to take 4 too. And Dakota Ehrman's going to lose it on pit road on the entrance. So that's really going to hurt him. He gets it back rolling, but he has lost time to Dwayne Vincent now on pit road, and they entered at the same time, so that is going to hurt him.
I was just about ready to say that these guys need to make sure that they hit their marks and they don't make any mistakes, and Dakota Ehrman made a huge one right there, and that's going to kill him a ton of time. Now looking at where they are pitting, we're on lap 54 right now. If we kind of, assume that it's around 52, 54 laps for a cycle, this may be their one and only pit stop if this stays green.
And that is huge, and if a caution comes out, I don't think the leaders will come in. Maybe someone in the back will come in to freshen up on tires. As John Abbott led a lap here, and he's going to lead another one, he's staying out, getting the bonus points. But I was looking at Dakota Ehrman, and it looks like this is a completely different pit road than normal racetracks. Normally you'll just pop down off turn 4, get on the brakes, and you'll coast in, but you have to take that access road, and it looks like he may have caught the grass, and since he has to make a sharper left turn, just lost it. Didn't have an incredible amount of speed. As we're cycling through pit stops right now, it's John Abbott, Andrew Berger, Doug Roth, and Sean Brown, followed by Glenn Hedrick. The top 5 are the only cars on the lead lap, but we're in the middle of pit stops. They still need to come through. So it'll be interesting to see how these things cycle out once everybody gets in, gets their tires, gets their fuel, and gets back racing.
Yeah, excuse me. Indeed, it will be. And you mentioned that how difficult this pit road is. It's flat. It is a flat pit road, access road onto the pit road, and you're pretty much turning the entire way around 3 and 4 until you really get into the commitment line. You're turning the entire way, and when you're trying to turn and you're braking at the same time on a flat surface, these cars can get all sorts of sideways, and unfortunately that's what happened with Dakota Ehrman. He lost control of the car trying to slow down for pits. Maybe he was carrying a little bit too much speed than he should have, tried to jam the brakes a little bit harder to make sure he wasn't speeding, and ended up getting a little sideways, which cost him quite a bit of time. These 4 drivers that are staying out right now, their strategy could be they're trying to actually the number 10 machine, John Abbott, your current leader, is coming down onto pit road right now. He's near the edge and he's off of pit access road, sliding through the grass, I don't know if that is going to be any sort of penalty from race control, but he is going to be able to come back onto and make it onto the pit safely, as I'm getting reports now that something more significant has happened to Dakota Ehrman. He has taken his car behind the wall, and looks like he is going to be done for the night.
And that 10 car of John Abbott really did get lucky. He got in there too hot, and as you mentioned, these cars don't like to have the brakes on them and be turning on a flat surface. That's why we have these banked racetracks so we can see the high-speed racing action. And he just slid off into the grass, and there were other cars coming, and he managed to keep that thing down after bouncing through that grass, kept it down. But if he was about 3 seconds later, there would have been cars right on his back bumper. So that was a close call, and like you mentioned, the 13, Dakota Ehrman, has parked his car. They're behind the wall. His team not in the chase for the championship right now. And after that error on pit road, maybe figured wasn't worth it, pull it in, and look forward to next season as Andrew Berger now in the lead, followed by Doug Roth, as we're almost done here with green flag pit stops.
And now it looks like the number 30 machine of Andrew Berger, he is going to make his way down onto pit road, and that is going to leave just one driver yet to make his green flag pit stop. That's the number 9 machine of Doug Roth. I'm kind of surprised about that. We saw Doug kind of struggling a little bit earlier on in the run. You think that maybe he'd be down on pit road by now, but maybe he's trying to wait this out and see if he can't get a caution and then maybe be able to steal some track position for the remainder of this race.
And I know that it's nothing points-wise because him and his teammates, C.J. LeVere and John Abbott, they're 49 points out of the lead. So they'd have to have a really great night. 1, 2, 3, lead the most laps. Every one of them lead a lap. So I think he's just going out maybe to get those bonus laps as he's now coming slow on the apron, not on that access road. And he is in the grass. He did not make that access road. So a very tricky pit road may be the decider in this race as he comes down. And after he cycles through pit stops, it's going to be the one, I believe, Larry Mulliken in second to Billy Weeks after everyone comes out as Andrew Berger now pulling out of pit road.
Yeah, Evan, that's what I'm looking at too. It looks like it's going to be the Halls on Post guys back up on top of the leaderboard with Billy Weeks first and Larry Mulliken second. It was looking that Dwayne Vincent was going to be second after the cycle, but Larry Mulliken was able to scoot on by him, and they have about 1.2 seconds off from Billy Weeks in front of them. So kind of separated these guys out a little bit off the pit stops, but the running order still looks to be the same.
Yeah, no major changes to the running order, if any, maybe a position back in near 10th place, 1 or 2 spots shuffled up. But I did notice as Andrew Berger was pulling out of pit road on that access road, he was behind Glenn Hedrick, who he is in front of now on the racetrack. And it almost looked like Hedrick was slowing him down, and it's not that Andrew Berger is real near the front, so it wasn't a race-deciding move. But every driver maybe has a different approach to this and how fast they're going to take it. As now the 31 that we just mentioned, Glenn Hedrick, he is spinning into the inside wall. No caution yet as he is down in the grass.
Glenn Hedrick with some front-end damage here. He's kind of parked on the bottom of the straightaway. He's got the car going the right way now, and now I don't really know what he's doing. There he goes. Looks like he's going to be able to fire it back up and go. No caution. He's got some front-end damage, and it looks like that car is in trouble. The team needed a caution, but they didn't need to be the caution. They didn't get either, but now they have a driver with some pretty significant damage.
And I think that might put the knife in a coffin there. And it didn't bring out the caution because after he pounded that inside wall, the car didn't come back up into the racing surface. And the officials are very careful about, are they going to throw the caution? And he kept it on the bottom. And now he is wrecking again. And now the caution is out, the 9 in it there. He is doing flat spins on the front straightaway. So another incident now with the 31, and that will bring out the caution.
The caution-free race has come to an end. A pretty significantly hard crash for the number 31 of Glenn Hedrick and the number 9 of Doug Roth on the front straightaway off of turn number 4. And those damages might be enough to end the night for those two, as we see Glenn Hedrick is able to drive his car away. But now we have a caution flag. It looks like we have about I think just over, no, we're sitting at 35 laps to go. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys do as the front runners heading into the pits right now.
And that's right, the number 9 of Doug Roth, he is the first car lap down. He was involved with that incident, and Glenn Hedrick, who is representing Super Speedway Cup, who was the cause of 2 incidents there, he is now 3 laps done. So I don't think there's much hope left for that team. And he took a pretty significant hit, tried to stay on the racetrack, and it just did not work out for him, as all the leaders now are going to come down pit road. So it'll be interesting to see how they leave here, going for adjustments. They just got fresh tires. So I'm interested to see what's going to go down here.
Billy Weeks leads the field down onto pit road here on lap number 67. 34 laps to go. And here they go, hitting their pit boxes now. Looks like Larry Mulligan was the first to get there. Right sides are up on all 4 of our top runners here. Looks like it's going to take at least 2. Looks like 4 tire stops for everybody up in the front of the field. And waiting for the drop of the jack. There they go. It's going to be Billy Weeks to win the race off of pit road, and barely getting second place is going to be Dwayne Vincent, followed by Larry Mulligan. And I believe that is, CJ Oliveira coming off in 4th place.
And Andrew Berger, the number 30 car, running for Super Speedway Cup, who are looking on the outside in, he did not come down pit road. It looks like he's going to enter this time by, so I didn't know if he was going to stay out. So it seems like everyone's just going to freshen up those tires as we have about 33 laps to go here. And I was looking at the 31 car. I mentioned how it looks like, how it appeared to me, that the 30 was being held up by that 31 as they exited pit road. Maybe Glenn Hedrick went for a big swing on the track bar, tried to make the adjustment, and when he got back out there it was so loose, because I was watching the 30 when they were coming off pit road. He was just almost bumping them, saying let's go, and he got by him. And 2 incidents by the 31 of Glenn Hedrick, as now he comes down pit road, so something may have gone wrong on that pit stop.
Not only has something gone wrong on that pit stop, but something might be up with the number 3 machine of Billy Weeks, as we have just seen him slow down onto the apron off of turn number 4. I'm not too sure what that's all about. Actually, he may have had some sort of penalty in the pits. Oh, come on now, Billy. That's not what his team needed to see, as he's going to go to the back of the pack.
And thankfully for them, they're not up in that point stand. No one wants to say that. They are 4th, 75 points out, so I don't think they're going to catch Full Throttle Cup. But they were having a great night, and points aside, you want to finish off the season a 1-2, so they were doing good. Unfortunate turn of events there for that number 3 car, and he may have a little bit of a chance to gain a couple positions here on the restart. I don't think he's going to be able to make it back up to the front, though.
He's got a lot of work cut out for him if he wants to get back up to where he was. And I'm sure that's a little frustrating for him, knowing that he possibly had a chance to put the team in a victory lane for the win. As now that task has gotten just a little bit tougher.
And this is what the Super Speedway Cup guys were praying for all race. But like you mentioned, they didn't want to be the cause of the caution. And to add insult to injury, they are, and now they have a driver 3 laps down the cause of the caution. He is sitting down there on pit road with pretty significant cosmetic and probably internal damage too to that race car. He took 2 solid hits head on into the outside wall there. So this night has just gone from running in the back, it's not looking good, and now it's just a downhill slope for the Super Speedway Cup team. So as we continue to pace here at Homestead Miami Speedway, we're working lap 69 out of 100 here. The pace lights on the pace car are off, it appears. So we're going to be going green. Race control is talking with John Abbott about a black flag. They're discussing that, but the pace lights are off. We're going to be going back green flag racing here this time by. The pace car has dropped to pit road, and Joshua Harbison in the 14 car. First time we've seen him up front today. He's going to lead the field to green, but a great restart by the number 6 of Dwayne Vincent, followed by the 1 and the 11, and they're all going to get bunched up here. 3 wide, the 29 comes flying by on the bottom, the 33 of David lands on the high side. We are 3 wide as we work off turn number 2. Contact 14, spinning in front of the field in a huge incident, and we saw that one brewing. Lots of cars involved at the front, and right as we got back green flag racing, a huge incident there, and that'll be interesting to see who made it through that. It looks like it's Dwayne Vincent in the lead right now, and it is followed by CJ LaVere. So that was an interesting incident. We're going to look back there on what happened, and the 14 car had to check up a lot, and the 1 car was stranded behind him in turn 1, didn't want to run him over, which allowed the 29 on the inside, and the 33, 14 slid up into the 33 of David Lanza, and Lanza made slight contact with the right rear bumper of Joshua Harbison, and when that happened, it sent 14 down, which knocked, I believe, one of the Halls on Poles cars down into the grass. That was the number 1 of Larry Mulliken, who has had a great night. He made hard contact with the inside wall, so that's really going to shake some things up here as we are on lap 71. Pace car back out, and we're pacing again.
Yeah, pacing once again here. I believe this is the second caution here. Evan Pasoko kind of jumping up here, but Kyle Peddle having some problems.
Yeah, second caution, and it looked like we were almost going to have green flag for the entire race, and then we had problems with Glenn Hedrick, the number 31, back in 13th position, 4 laps down as he makes his way back onto the racetrack, still with pretty significant damage. So, interesting incident there. 14 car, not sure if he got real loose, something happened, bad tires, but a very bad incident for him. He has retired that car to the garage. He took very heavy contact, and that was a very big incident on the back straightaway, and drivers are not too happy about that, but we are pacing. It's Dwayne Vincent, CJ LaVere, Brandon Chaburko, David Lanza, and Andrew Berger rounding up your top 5.
And I'll tell you what you don't want to see as a driver, you don't want to see a caution with this many laps to go. I think we have less than 30 to go right now. When we get a caution at this rate, at this point in time, when you're sitting in the driver's seat of a car, and a lot of these drivers are, they're sitting here thinking, well, what do I do now? I mean, the short run, you're really looking at some of these cars really having no grip whatsoever. These cars are just sliding around all kinds of sideways. And that's what a lot of the guys are really struggling with. They got to get 5 to 10 laps on these tires, maybe even 15 to 20 before they can do anything. And they're losing laps because they got to keep your pacing, keep the tires a little bit colder, and it's not really helping them at all.
Definitely not good for the drivers, and we had such a long green flag run that almost set the tone for the race. The drivers are they're not pushing it, they're just riding in line, staying with their buddies, and now that has really shuffled our field because Larry Mulliken, who is now on pit road, his teammate Billy Weeks dropped back to 5th place. He is on pit road because he got sent into the inside wall there. So a tough break for them. They were doing great, especially for that team running 1-2 here. And cautions breed caution, they say, and they got to get those tires worn to get the grip because they were just sliding all over the place in turns 1 and 2 there. And you can't do much to avoid an incident when there's that many cars piled up there and they're trying to gain position in a championship race.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Billy Weeks, man, he kind of surprised me. He came out here, he was running, he actually ended up 3rd in practice, but he was running really, really fast lap time-wise when it came to race trim. Kind of struggled when it came to Q trim. He was actually 3rd fastest, so was able to get 3rd and start 3rd. Rain up front, he was able to basically get to the lead pretty quickly. He had a lot of company from his teammate Larry Mulliken in the 1. But the 3 car, he's been really surprising, really, really fast. The big thing about this 3 car is, though, he's not as fast when it comes to maybe the first few laps. I know he was able to hit really quick lap times in practice, but when it seemed like race-wise, he would fall back, or he would kind of be stuck where he started for the first few laps. And then kind of gradually move up. His car seemed to get a lot better than everybody else on the racetrack. I tell you what, the 3 car probably something more to watch. If we can get more than 5 laps on the tires, that's really got to be the pick to win the race right now. But he does have to get through quite a few cars right now.
Indeed, and his car did start to kick in later in the run, him and his teammate, and then they started to get spread out. And as we're pacing right now, I believe we may get the 1 to go. We do the pace lights are off on the pace car. He's going to be starting on the outside, and as Kyle had mentioned, this racetrack, there's not just one line on the bottom. You can run on the high side, you can run on the bottom. and a big incident there. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers take this now. They only had one start before. It was the green flag, and they went a long time. Now they just had a big incident, so it's going to be messing with their minds, and it's going to be interesting to see how hard these guys go for it on the restart.
Alright, well, first off, got two things here. First off, when it comes to these restarts, these guys cannot just plant the throttle down in turns 1 and 2. They got to be careful. These cars are going to slide around, especially when we've got a heat cycle kind of on, and where we went on the green. They got a little bit of wear on the tires before the caution came out. It can be a little dangerous. But now joining us back up in the broadcast booth, he's alive, Kyle Young.
Yeah, sorry about that. There, a bit of a technical difficulty. I think somebody tripped over my mic cord again.
I think he just went outside to get some of that Florida sunshine, but regardless of that, we're going to be going back green here, lap 74 out of 100.
Starting to get down to crunch time here, just within the last quarter of the race, and things are starting to pick up and get interesting already, aren't they, here, Evan?
Indeed, and it looks like a cleaner restart. Dwayne Vincent got a bigger jump on the last restart. He was right there side by side with whoever was on the pole there. I forget who it was who started position 1. So a better restart for him. He gets out to the lead. He can run his line, and they've single filed out now. CJ LaVere maybe looking to the inside of the 29 car of Brandon Chaburko. He's there. He's going to die off a bit. Look for that run off the corner for Brandon Chaburko, but it's Dwayne Vincent who's going to lead this clean lap 1 after our second restart of the day. And as they work down the backstretch, Dwayne Vincent leads the field. They have single filed out. We have a battle back for 6th position. Now the number 3, Billy Weeks, who's been up front the majority of the night. He's going to look to the inside of the number 10 of John Abbott. John Abbott caught a break there on that last caution. He was given a black flag. His team spoke to the officials, and that was clear. So that got him back up as now he loses the 6th position to Billy Weeks, but it's still Dwayne Vincent, followed by CJ LaVere, and then the 29 of Brandon Chaburko, who is getting pressure from the 33 of David Lanza for the 3rd position.
Here's the cool thing about the 3 car. You see him, he's able to move up a lane, or at least a lane and a half, especially in turns 1 and 2, and makes the outside lane work. He did it a few laps early on in the beginning of the race, and he did it right there. Just as soon as he got around the 10, he moved up quite a bit. See him running way up out of the group, or kind of in the group, but way up. See, now shoots down the racetrack, going to be side by side with the 30 car now. This is 30 Andrew Berger. As he slides up the racetrack, you see the 3 car slides up just a little bit. This is a battle for 5th position. 3 car stays right on that line. He's on that fine line where the seam is, and going to be able to come back up and clear the 30 car, heading off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. He's now got his sights set on the 29 already as they go into turn number 3.
And you can tell that the intensity has definitely picked up here as we are on lap 78, coming to 79 out of a 100-lap race. It's not a long green flag run anymore like we had. They're getting real close. We had a bunch of them, those drivers that you're looking at right now. They bunched off at turn number 4, then a little bit of contact. The 30 may have slid up a bit as they entered turn number 1. So the intensity is definitely there, and we have a hard-fought battle right now between Billy Weeks and Brandon Chaburko for the 4th position. But right behind them, the 10 of John Abbott, looking to the inside of the 3, is going to think better of it, and the 30 of Andrew Berger hanging in the wings. But up front, it is still Dwayne Vincent, followed by CJ LaVere. And David Lanza in that number 33 machine has moved his way into the 3rd position.
How about Billy Weeks? He just went around the 29. The 10 car trying to follow. So 4th and 5th positions just changing hands as now John Abbott is on the bumper. It seems like the 3, the 29 is going to fall back behind the 10 car. And 3, again, up to the 4th position. It's Billy Weeks trying to make a comeback after restarting 6th, falling back a spot to Abbott. Coming back by Abbott, coming back up to the field. It's a strong charge for the 3 car right now.
And he definitely does have a strong car. Started back in 6th position. He's worked his way up to 4th, and that doesn't seem like a big increase, but at this racetrack, these cars, it's definitely good, and now he's setting his sights on David Lanza in 3rd position. Billy Weeks definitely has the car to do it. The question is, does he have enough laps? We have 19 laps to go. Dwayne Vincent is 1.5 seconds ahead of him, so he has the speed, but I'm not sure if he has enough speed to challenge because those cars up front are pretty fast.
It definitely is a question as you watch right now. I'm looking at David Lanza running 3rd, Weeks right behind him. These guys are about 8/10 of a second and 1.3 and 1.5 seconds seconds behind the leader. The guy that's really in contention right now has got to be the 11 car. He's right on the bumper of that 6 car almost. 11 car was really, really fast. I think I noticed earlier on in the race he was kind of sticking with the leaders. Came down to it, he was so far back he could not stick with them. I don't think we got to see what the 11 car was capable of as he fell back after it seemed like 20 to 30 laps. Right now he's running up front though, and he can see the 6 car. That's the biggest thing right now. If you can see a driver, you have their draft. When you have their draft, you're in a really good spot, especially for the fact that the 11 car, when he was running by himself earlier, just about 1.2 to 1.6 seconds behind the leaders, he couldn't see them. He couldn't see their line. He couldn't mock their line. He was all in his own little world, and that could really cost him. He could lose time because he wasn't able to, be consistent. He didn't really know, where the fast line was, how the lanes were changing, how fast other cars were, and so he kind of got hurt. Now he can see the 6. He knows what the 6 is doing. He can replicate that and be just as fast.
In the 32 of Rod Flag, he is slow on the high side of the track on the front stretch, still going 160, but definitely off the pace as the leaders are going to probably lap him, put him a lap down as we work this lap. And the 11 of CJ Levere, as you mentioned, most drivers like being behind somebody because when you're by yourself, you're running your line. You can't say, all right, he did this, I'm going to try this. So they can almost compare their line to the guy in front of them, make small adjustments, and try to catch him as they work down and put the number 32 of Rod Flag a lap down.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you're saying there. I mean, if you have somebody spotting for you, maybe you have a spotter up in the stands telling you what the leader's doing, that doesn't help you at all. You really got to be able to see. That's a driver's thing, is being able to see, having that visual cue. It really, really helps a driver. When we talk about helping a driver, how about Billy Weeks up to 3rd? David Lanza falls back to 5th. John Abbott up to 4th, so they both go around Lanza. So Weeks and Abbott going pretty quickly, but 1.1 and 1.4 seconds behind the leader last time they crossed the start-finish line. Abbott not leaving Weeks' bumper. Lanza not falling too far back because he actually looks like he slid up the track quite a bit there. 10 car pushing up the track a little bit more than the 3 currently. But the 3 car, he's got a bit of a gap to make up. Going to be 1.1 seconds still behind the race leader, so he's not really running a whole lot faster than the race leader right now.
And I believe we may have Kyle Young back on the microphone.
Yeah, I'm back up here, and we're all set to go here for these final 15 laps of racing to finish up the season here as Dwayne Vincent tries to bring it on home here for the Asphalt Assault guys, not only the championship, but the win as well.
And looking at Billy Weeks, him and John Abbott have been moving their way through the field. Billy Weeks in the 3, started 3rd, he's in 3rd. He's been working his way up, and he was about a 10th quicker than the leader the last couple laps, and it was a 1.5 second differential when we were on lap 80. It's 87, and he's worked it down to a second. So he's really got to keep it on there if he wants any chance of catching him. But right behind Dwayne Vincent, CJ Levere is still right there in the wings, looking to make his move here as we come to 12 laps to go as they cross the stripe.
Billy Weeks on the charge, and he is doing everything he can to make up the lost ground from the pit mistake and try to get back up and win this race. You can definitely tell that the wheels are being driven off of that number 3 machine. He wants it bad. He made a mistake. It was a silly mistake on his part. It frustrates him, it angers him, and he wants to get back up and at least have a chance to contend for this win again, and that is exactly what it looks like he is about to try and do. But first, he's got to get through CJ Levere to get to Dwayne Vincent. Levere trying to do everything he can to reel in that 6 car just a little closer and to try to make a move around him, but he can't quite do it right now. He's sticking to about 2 to 3 tenths behind him the entire way around the track.
And one thing that's easy to forget if you're the 2nd place car is you don't want to dive that car in too hard, because then you'll push up and you'll get a terrible exit. And I saw the 11 of CJ Levere last lap. He worked in on the distance of Dwayne Vincent. He got it to about 0.19 hundredth of a second, but then he dropped back off to 0.225. So maybe he drove it in there and it affected his exit. So when you're in this situation, looking at the leader, it's so close you can almost taste it. You can't get over your head. You got to be smart. You still got to run your line, as he looks like he may be slightly closing on Dwayne Vincent for the race lead.
Speaking of slightly closing, John Abbott has closed right back up to the rear bumper of Billy Weeks and is now side by side with Billy Weeks, trying to retake that 3rd place spot once again. Weeks is going to try and get the run off of the corner. He's going to be able to beat him at the line, but can't quite clear him yet. Into turn number 1, going to try and make it happen. Abbott is able to keep it close. He actually has the advantage through the middle of the corner and off of the exit of the corner around the top side. Here comes Billy Weeks. Side-by-side racing. This is not what Billy Weeks wants, as now he's able to clear John Abbott and try to make up the ground lost, then to try to get back out to the leaders.
And I think Billy Weeks' car has done all it can. They had a great charge, but when they got stuck about that 1 second interval, and getting side-by-side with the 10 of John Abbott was not going to help that either. They've now dropped to 1.15 seconds off. I don't think that car has the speed. Good effort by him, as now John Abbott is going to look to try that. That's still battling for a top 3 placement, so that's not just a weak battle. They're going to be racing for it, as John Abbott, he was on the inside of that 3, but that run off the high side, you just can't compete with that on the bottom, which allowed Billy Weeks to stay in the 3rd position. And back up front, Dwayne Vincent racing with C.J. LeVere. C.J. LeVere closed it to 0.15 of a second. Now he's back to 24. So he's looking, he's searching, trying to find anything he can do to catch that 6 car.
Using all of this very wide racetrack to try and find something that'll click for that number 11 to get up there and try to pick up the win for a full throttle cup car. And you know how much he wants that, wants it bad. And you know, he kind of wants to spoil this for Dwayne Vincent. They want to finish off their season with one last win to put a full throttle driver into victory lane. But Dwayne Vincent not only wants to go to victory lane for the championship, he wants to go to victory lane for the win. And right now that is what he is looking to do, as the battle for 3rd still continues with Billy Weeks and John Abbott.
And it looks like the championship pretty much decided in favor of Asphalt Assault, and that is Dwayne Vincent representing the championship leading team, and then C.J. LeVere Full Throttle Cup. If he can beat Vincent, it almost counts as a team win, because you know that your team, you know, they share setups, they work on them together. So it's an accomplishment as a team. If one driver does good, you guys all celebrate it together. And he has not dropped off any on Dwayne, but he has not gained any. And he's going to need to do something pretty drastic as we hit lap traffic right now. So that may be a deciding factor, as we're on lap 95, nearly 5 laps to go.
Glenn Hedrick going to throw a little bit of action into these leaders. She's not going to throw too much action, as Dwayne Vincent and C.J. LeVere are going to be able to easily come on by, as now LeVere closes up dramatically, takes a peek to the inside into turn number 1, not going to be able to make anything happen. Vincent's able to clear. Now they have to go through the number 32 of Rod Flag off of turn 2. Vincent gets loose, he makes a wiggle. That's going to allow LeVere to close up a little bit. They both get around Rod Flag A-OK. And C.J. LeVere now trying to get up to that bumper and make a move with 4 laps of racing to go.
And C.J. LeVere nearly a car length off of Dwayne Vincent, and I think that lap traffic helped them a lot, because as they came off the corner, the 6 of Dwayne Vincent off turn 4 2 laps ago, Dwayne had to stay off the wall because the 31 of Glenn Hedrick was there. However, for C.J. LeVere, he could come off the corner high, almost use a little bit of a draft, and that has helped them significantly, as it is a 1/10 of a second lead for Dwayne Vincent as they enter turn number 3.
Dwayne Vincent, C.J. LeVere fighting it out with 3 laps to go in the ETV Live Team Series finale. Dwayne Vincent looks like it is going to be a championship night for him. He's trying to hang on to put it into victory lane. C.J. LeVere wants no part of it. He wants to go to victory lane, not Dwayne Vincent. And it looks like Larry Mulligan is going to throw a factor into this one, as now he looks to go another lap down just in front of these guys into turn 3. LeVere is there, but he can't quite close in and make the run to try to get around, and 2 laps to go this time by.
And watching that turn there, the number 11, C.J. LeVere, almost half a car length lower on the racetrack than Dwayne Vincent, and not this time. Dwayne Vincent has to dive low to avoid that lap car, pushes up a bit. So C.J. LeVere's looking, he's searching for it, and he is right there. I'm looking down his onboard. He can see that car. It is right there, and they're coming to the white flag. It's go time at Homestead.
Indeed it is. We are just about 1 lap away from calling this one a season. C.J. LeVere, he's got 4 more corners to try to make his number 11 machine work. and try to take the win. White flag is in the air, 1 lap to go. Dwayne Vincent, CJ Lavera is ahead down into turn number 1. Lavera can't gain enough ground to try to make a move. He's starting to lose some ground through the middle of the turn, off of turn number 2. It's about 3 car lengths between the two as they work their way down into turn number 3. Dwayne Vincent in his number 6 machine for the Asphalt Assault team not only is going to bring his car off of turn 4 to win the race, but it's going to be the Asphalt Assault team to pick up the ETV Live Team Series Championship. Dwayne Vincent goes to victory lane in Homestead Miami Speedway.
And a great race. CJ Lavera, it looked like, as he took the white flag, he had to make something. He had to go for it because they were even, and it looks like turn 1 was the killer. He dove it in there, pushed up the track, and that was it. Great race by all these drivers, and a great way to end out the season as the championship winning team is going to have their race car in victory lane here.
They came in with a 2-driver disadvantage. It was only 2 of them for the Asphalt Assault team compared to the 4 with the Super Speedway Cup team. But looking at it, it isn't 100% official yet, but I believe the Asphalt Assault team is going to be declared your champions for the first season here in the ETV Live Team Series. Dwayne Vincent is going to get ready to celebrate here. We're going to get ready to talk to him. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break. We're going to get things wrapped up to see what the final results are going to be, and we will share them with you on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travers, start your engine!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing. Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Kyle Young.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Homestead Miami Speedway for the post-race show for the season finale here for the ETV Live Team Series. Dwayne Vincent was able to pick up the victory here for the driver's race, and we will get to him momentarily, but right now we're going to send it down to Evan Posoko. He is caught up with the number 3 machine of Billy Weeks for the Halls on Post drivers. Evan, take it away.
And down here on pit road with Billy Weeks, almost disappointing night for you. You and your teammate had a great run. You were 3rd in practice. You qualified 3rd. You finished 4th. Tell us about that strong run you guys had there at the start of the race.
Yeah, we were just really riding, trying to stay in line and keep everything in order. Just trying to let the laps wind down and see how she shook out. And green flag pit stop was pretty good. Then we had the caution, and I kind of goofed up and got distracted a little bit, got out of the exit pit road and kind of sent me to the back of the crowd.
And it looks like your car did have some speed there. You drove up there. You started 6th on the last restart. You managed to get 4th. You didn't have enough there. John Abbott got you at the end. Did the car go away there at the end because you were moving forward?
Yeah. To try and be a little conservative behind some of these guys, I know it was a little bit quicker than them. I didn't want to run them over or nothing. I mean, nothing against them. They were running pretty good races on their own. But sometimes when you're behind a guy, you just can't get on the throttle the way the setup likes. And I had to use the steering wheel a little bit more than I like behind to get him to turn, and it just ate the right front off of it.
And with not having your team in specific in the championship race, was the goal for tonight to just ride around, or were you guys looking for a victory here to close off the season?
Victory. Tonight was a pretty good, clean race, and we've had a few instances from some of the other races that have kind of took some of us out of contention at time, and we just had a point to prove. We wanted to get down to it and put a period on it.
Well, definitely a strong night. Nothing to be disappointed with a 4th place finish. You and your teammate had fast cars all night. Any shout-out you want to throw out there?
Yep. Thanks to the ETV Live and the radio system that brings this series to us. Got to thank Halls on Post for their support throughout the year, and as well as don't forget the Alzheimer's Association. Like I said, it's one of my favorite organizations to do charity work for. Everybody should pay attention to them. But thanks again for a good little series.
So a great season and a great race for the number 3 of Billy Weeks. He finishes off 4th place here at Homestead.
Down here now with CJ LeVere in the number 11 machine for the Full Throttle Cup team, able to bring it home 2nd place. CJ, a hell of a finish between you and Dwayne Vincent, but wasn't quite able to get around Dwayne Vincent and pick up the victory. But still a good race for you guys. Talk about it.
It was an awesome race. We had a good setup. We had some ground to make up to begin with, and we just couldn't make it up, burnt the tires up. Had to go make a couple adjustments. My crew chief, Ben Burnett, Burnett Motorsports, man, he hooked me up, and we got a good car and started getting a run on Dwayne. And Dwayne's kind of a teammate on the sister team, so I was content to ride behind him. I really didn't want to take the issue and push it any farther and maybe take the both of us out. So 2nd was just like a win for me.
We saw a lot of green flag racing throughout the course of this event. Were you and John and the rest of your team, were you guys kind of prepared for that, or were you guys not really expecting that there for the setup?
Oh, we always expect for that. You know, you make the setup for the long run. And we're more of a fixed kind of league, so when we get in here, we work on our setups a couple hours before the race, and we do just as good as some others.
Taking a look at the final standings here, your Full Throttle team was able to finish up in 3rd place, just 18 points shy of picking up the championship win. A very successful season for you guys. You guys were able to pick up 2 victories on the year as a team. I know a couple of you individual drivers were able to pick up some wins throughout the way as well. What's the plan heading into next season, and what do you guys think you got to do to be able to top that and win the championship next season?
We had a couple guys miss a couple races that cost us some key points. I think it'd be a different story if we we had a couple of those guys. I think we're going to focus more on getting everybody here, and once we do that, I think we have a good team. I think we're going to be the team to beat next season.
Lots of confidence from inside that number 11 machine is CJ Lavere. CJ, you got a lot of people to thank here. I know you do. We can't do it on your own, so give them the shout-outs that they deserve. The mic is all yours.
I'd like to thank ETV Live. I'd like to thank HD Radio Network, Derek Spears Designs, Inside Sim Race TV, iLeague, hippiespaintshop.com. So many people here. All you guys do is such a great job, and so many people come together to put these things together. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, so thank everybody.
The number 11 machine, CJ Lavere, for the Full Throttle team, finishing in second place. A very exciting finish between him and Dwayne Vincent, as now Evan Pasoko inside victory lane, ready to talk and celebrate with Dwayne Vincent.
And we're down here in victory lane. Dwayne Vincent, great driving out there tonight. It went all the way down to the wire, but you and your number 6 machine were managed to take home that checkered flag.
Yeah, we needed that, man. We needed to run out front. We were short 2 teammates tonight, so it was just David Lanza and myself. So we didn't have a choice but to go out and win, man. So we tried our best.
And you guys did exactly what you needed to do. Talk us through that race. We had a very long green flag run. Then we had a wreck right after the restart, which kind of shuffled out the field, and then green flag to the end. So how was the race mentally?
It was great. I love the long green flag runs. I mean, that's my favorite, man. But when the caution came out, actually, I was a little upset. I was like, man, we didn't need that. But actually, it helped us. So you never know.
And a strong night for you. You qualified in the second place. You one-upped it, though. You got the victory here. And how does a win mean closing off the season?
It feels great, man. I think I won the first one and the last one, so I can't complain. I'm happy.
And a great night out for you indeed. Anyone you want to throw a shout-out to?
Yeah, I want to thank all you guys at ETV. We appreciate everything you guys do. HD Radio Network, Jerry Wolf for putting this together. Ray Skins, he does our paint jobs in the A-car for myself and our team at Red Ass. All my teammates here in this series, David Lanza, Bobby Terrell, and Guy Snyder, and of course the sister team, Abbott, Roth, CJ Lavere, and Jose. A bunch of good guys. We worked good together, and it was a blast.
And a great night indeed. Not quite the championship, but he's going to bring home a nice trophy. Number 6 car, Dwayne Vincent, your winner here at Homestead.
And now to get to those championship-winning drivers, the point system a little bit different than what I had interpreted. So I had originally called this the Asphalt Assault guys our champions. However, that is not the case. By 9 points, the Super Speedway Cup drivers are able to pick up the championship and to celebrate and to get a word with them. We're going to send it to Dakota Urban. Dakota, it is all yours. Try not to get too soaked in the champagne bath.
Definitely going to have to try. It's going to be a challenge here, but I got Rod Flagg standing by here with me first. He's also going to be talking on behalf of Glenn Hedrick, as Hedrick had to run away for just a moment. But Rod Flagg, you did it. I know you kind of left the track, and you were kind of upset. You got a phone call, had to turn back around once you realized you guys won the championship by 9 points.
Yeah, we thought we were out of this. I had no idea. We totally missed the setup tonight. We just didn't have the right gear in all the cars, and so we were just a little bit behind. Couldn't get off the corner the way we wanted to. So, I'd originally had my golf cart pointed towards the airport, and I thought we were going to be out of here. But we'll take it, and I think that it's exciting to see that Super Speedway League can come in here and race pretty good. And we've had some really great finishes. Andrew's won a race, actually 2 races, and so it's it can be done. These guys are not just Super Speedway racers; they're all around good racers. At other tracks as well. So just excited to see this. Excited for Glenn, Andrew, Brandon, and myself to take it home tonight. But Again, I didn't think we were gonna come away with the win, but we'll take it, and I'm excited for these guys. We worked really hard, and it's I think our attendance was one of the best in the series, and that's really what's going to pay off. So just thanking into ETV Live, Jerry Wolf, HD Radio Network, everybody for making this happen. It was a great season.
And Rod Flag, I know you're in charge here. You're planning to bring a second team in next season. Can we see a 1-2 in the point standings next season from you guys?
Oh, no doubt. We're going to come in here. We're bringing Marcus Lambert in here. We're bringing our truck champion to come in here, Hunter Bowles. So we're bringing in some of our really good ringers to come in because Sundays actually work a little bit better for everybody. So we're pretty excited. And the trucks I think we've had a little more success in. So we're going to bring some of our really talented drivers in and a couple of new faces as well who maybe people haven't seen before. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. And just can't say enough the consistency that these guys brought.
And I tell you what, that's Rod Flag, driver number 23 machine for Super Speedway Cup. Check them out on Friday nights, ssseries.com, and also on ETV Live, etv-eplay.net, just around 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time, I do believe, on every Friday night. Their new season going to be starting up very soon. Also check them out on Thursdays. They have a truck series. Also joining us down here is going to be Jerry Wolf. He's going to be standing by now with the Andrew Berger, driver number 24 machine. Well, Jerry Wolf running away, but Andrew Berger now staying by with me. Andrew, man. Andrew, you just won a championship, man.
Yeah, that feels pretty darn good. Super Speedway Cup team really did a fine job this whole season. We're very consistent. I think I might have snatched the overall thing, not like that matters, but anyways. Yeah, it was a very solid season for all of us here, Rod, Brandon, myself, and Glenn Hedrick. We just had a very, very consistent season, and ultimately it paid off.
And now what do you got to say to everybody that says Super Speedway drivers can't drive an oval track when you just went out there, you won 2 races this season, and helped your team accomplish a championship here?
Oh, well, I think we pretty much proved that to be not the case. Yeah, each of us here is more accomplished than just super speedway racing. I think it'll even be tougher to beat next year or next season in the trucks. That's I know even I'm stronger in the trucks, and I know Rod and Brandon are too, I think. So definitely look out for us next season to repeat, and hopefully our other team coming in here can do well as well.
All right, Andrew, man. Can we see you maybe get 1 or 2, maybe even 3 or 4 wins next season?
Oh, certainly, yeah. The trucks, like I said, are my strong point. So I've got a good bunch of setups already. So I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't be surprised if I get on a roll and win a couple.
All right. Well, here's your chance to throw any shout-outs you may have.
Sure, yeah, I just want to thank ETV HD Radio Network for putting on the show this season. It was a lot of fun. I know Super Speedway Cup team enjoyed it every Tuesday night. Got to thank Jerry Wolf for putting on this league. I know he's probably put a lot of time into it, and really appreciate it. His work and effort. It's been a great, fun season. I'm sure next season will be even better. Got to thank all the guys here at Super Speedway Cup team, Brandon, Rod, and Glenn, for setup help throughout the season and just working together as a team. It's been fun. So thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, Andrew. And now going to go ahead and move down the line. Brandon Chimerko, he's the last guy we've got with the team. Again, Glenn Hedrick not able to join us, but Brandon Chimerko, man, you did it. I know you was one of the guys hooting and hollering, man, you won a championship.
Yeah, man, first and foremost, I mean, we're Super Speedway Cup. We're really good at Super Speedways, and I think we just proved everybody wrong that, we can do anything now, and it was a good season.
And Brandon, man, you come in. How are you with the trucks? I know we heard from from Andrew and as well as Rod. The trucks aren't bad to them. Are you all right with the trucks, or?
I would say the B car I'm better at. The trucks are a little too loose for me, but I think I can manage.
And man, when you run as well as you've run rather well all season long. You've had some fantastic races, and you managed to claim the championship here along with the rest of your team. How do you manage to prepare weekly, and especially heading into next season? How do you plan to prepare, and can you help your team reclaim another championship, make it back-to-back championships?
Oh yeah, definitely. We got the guys to where we can definitely get a back-to-back championship. I plan on hosting some rooms and trying to help with the setups. I didn't help as much as I should have this season, so I plan on getting a bit more involved for next season. Hopefully we can go back-to-back.
All right, well, thank you. Brandon, go ahead and give you a chance here to throw out the shout-outs you may have.
All the guys at Super Speedway Cup, ssseries.com, HD Radio Network, ETV for broadcasting, and Jerry for putting on the league.
All right, there you have it again. This is your 2013 Season A ETV Live the Series season champions. They are Super Speedway Cup. Again, check them out on Friday nights, ssseries.com. Also ETV Live or ETV-eplay.net about 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Now joining us, I do believe we have Jerry Wolf with final thoughts here and talking about next season.
I'm going to tell you what, Dakota, it was a fun season here this season. 12 races, a lot of good green flag racing. We were talking about that prior to the race here, how much green flag racing we had. I mean, look at tonight. I think our first caution didn't come out. Oh, man, it had to have been probably around lap 60, something like that. So had a great season here, lap 62 tonight. Plan to go next season. We're going to move to Sunday nights, guys. Going to take a little bit different spin in the trucks this time. Got a pretty good schedule lined up here. Another 12 weeks, going to add a few teams and hopefully get things going. But, Dakota, I really, really need to thank you for all of your help this season that you put in with the times that I had to be out of town for business and stuff. But, man, you did a great job, and I don't think I could have done it without you and John and JD and all the guys in the back. Kyle Peddle, Kyle Young, Evan, you guys have all been great, and I appreciate everything you guys do. But we cannot say enough for the drivers of the series. They are what makes the series what it is. They're what makes us go around the track each week. So congratulations to Rod Flagg's team there, the Super Speedway Cup team. I do want to throw big shout-outs out there to Asphalt Assault, Full Throttle, Halls on Post, Crossed Up Motorsports, ETV Live, and Hollywood Motorsports. Without those 7 teams, we wouldn't be where we are, and hopefully next season we have a few more teams we can rattle off. But other than that, thanks, guys, and we'll catch you on Sunday nights, June 2nd, starting out at Charlotte, Dakota.
I can't wait. It's going to be a very interesting schedule. It's going to be unique. We'll even have a road course with trucks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely don't miss it. 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time is actually 8:50 on Sunday night, starting in just a few weeks. Going to go back now to Kyle Young to close out the show.
Thanks, Dakota, and wow, the schedule says it's been 12 weeks, but it sure doesn't seem like that at all. Evan, I appreciate you filling in for the missing Kyle Peddle here tonight. You weren't around for a ton of the season, but a good portion of it, and interested to what you have to say for this season and thoughts for next season.
Well, this series right here, it's different than any other series, and that's because it's a team series. And one thing that I noticed as I have been watching this races, doing pit road and up in the booth with you guys, is it's such a team aspect, and it gives the whole race a different atmosphere. And it should be interesting next season for trucks, and trucks at a road course doesn't get any better than that. So you guys want to make sure you check that out. And great season, and I like this style of racing.
It definitely has been a very entertaining season to watch. We've seen all kinds of different racing action, different things going on each and every single week, and it's only going to get better with Season 2 as we move from the Nationwide Series cars to the trucks, from Tuesday nights to Sunday nights, and we're even throwing in some right-hand turns, and we're going road racing in this upcoming season. Well, this is pretty much going to do it for us here for this season. I'd like to thank JD and John for giving me the opportunity to broadcast here with my first full season with the ETV Live. It's been a blast, and I look forward in great amounts for next season to do it all again here in a few weeks. And for JD, for John, for Jerry, Dakota, Evan, and everybody who has put a lot of hard work into making this series happen, all of the work behind the scenes, all of the drivers, all the teams, and all of you fans out there for watching this entire season. My name is Kyle Young. We will see you in about 2 or 3 weeks' time for the beginning of the next season in the ETV Live Team Series. Until then, we will see you there at the races. Good night and have a wonderful off season.